Good morning, gamers. It is truly morning right now, and we're going to play some video games, and I'm going to answer all of your questions. I reached out on Twitter and on YouTube yesterday, and a lot of people got back, so thank you very much for that, and let's just get playing. So this is Race the Sun, and it's basically a game where you're racing against the sun setting. So first question, Blandrew asks, if you could only play 3 franchises, which would they be? I don't think the answer to this is going to come as a surprise to anybody, but number 1 would be Mario. There's just so much that falls under the umbrella of Mario games. I mean, Mario Kart, the full 3D Mario adventure games, Mario Golf, Mario Party. I mean, there's just so much to love about Mario. Number 2 would probably be Zelda. Again, not surprising. I mean, it's just, there's so much history and nostalgia there, and just all the music and the beautiful places. I would never want to give up either of those 2. The third one's a little harder for me to choose. I think it would have to be, personally, I think it would have to be Pokemon. It's not so much a nostalgia thing for me, believe it or not. I actually haven't gotten too deep into the Pokemon franchise, but from what I have seen, I think it's a really cool place to be, and I think, if I were in some sort of desert island, like, you have to choose 3 franchises, and the others are going into the ocean forever to never be seen again, I think I'd like to choose Pokemon to spend some time there. It's a really cool place. Like, it's just happy, and I think it'd be a good way to spend some time. So thanks for that question, Blandrew. Malarkey Mark asks, besides Nintendo, what are other console games that you really liked? So I'm mostly Nintendo, obviously. I think it's pretty clear from my channel. I like dabble on the PC a little bit, but I really didn't own any non-Nintendo consoles growing up as a kid. I think my parents just kind of were the same as a lot of other parents in thinking that Nintendo was the family-friendly console, which is kind of true. But I was able to borrow a friend's PlayStation 3, and I got to play Shadow of the Colossus, which is a pretty popular game. You probably have played it or at least heard of it, but I really enjoyed that game, and I'd love to play more like that. All right, I'm gonna pause real quick. Nico asks, who is your favorite YouTuber? So the Game Grumps are by far the channel that I watch the most. They're just, I got into them through JonTron originally. I discovered JonTron and quickly discovered Game Grumps, but really the reason I watch it now is Aaron Hansen. I just love that guy. I think he's super genuine, and it's just like my comfort zone. If I'm feeling down or anxious or anything like that, Game Grumps is like a very happy place for me. Oh my god, no. Zombria, is that how you say that? That's a cool name. Zombria asks, what inspired you to start the Good Morning Gamer reviews? Really enjoy your content. Thank you, Zombria. So Good Morning Gamer reviews were a way for me to sort of get a little bit more content out more frequently. And not to say that I'm like spending less time on them. Oh, that's rough. It's just a way to sort of get a little more content out there and focus on a single game and talk more about the games that I really love. So, thanks for the question. Jack and Nash ask, what do we do if we come across one of your videos and we don't want to have a good morning? That's a great question. Well, my professional answer would probably be, see a therapist if you don't want to have a good morning. I don't know, guys. Most people want to have a good morning. You don't always have a good morning, but you should want it. Oh, risky. Wow, that was bad. And then they also ask, are we ever going to see short gameplay videos recorded from the instant you wake up? Are you watching right now? What comes before the post-coffee mask? I'll never share that. Jordan Young asks, have you considered doing collab videos with fans/YouTubers? Well, Jordan, actually, Jack and Nash and I collaborated on a video about a year ago, and that video is one of my favorites to create and to produce, and I'm really proud of it, and I think Jack and Nash did a great job collaborating. So I'm definitely still open to that notion. I haven't really reached out to many people lately just because I sort of haven't. No particular reason, but I'm totally open to that, and you know, if the right sort of YouTuber reaches out to me, I would love to do that. It's a little hard to coordinate. I guess that's the only drawback, but obviously it's just something you got to do. DGR asks, what are 3 games on no particular system that you feel are hidden gems or underrated? 3 games. How about 2? I got 2, and they're for the same system. So Bat and Kaitos, talked about that game in my top 10 GameCube games video. That game's definitely just underplayed, underrated. Really cool game. There are 2 of them actually. There's the original and there's Origins. Origins is the one I would recommend, but they're both really cool. And then Kirby's Air Ride. Really cool game. a lot of people have played that game, but it's a racer with all sorts of really cool facets to it. So, and it's just so quintessentially Kirby. Like everything about it just reeks of Kirby. Like you can suck in enemies and then take on their weaponry. Really cool. So thank you for that question. That's all I got for that. I'm not an expert on like every game that was produced. So thanks, DGR. Tyler asks, how has gaming shaped or influenced who you are as a person? Who I am as a person. I think it's made me a little bit more open-minded, you know, and not too expectant of things, because in video games, you never know what to expect. You never know what a video game is going to throw at you because they can throw literally anything at you. So I think that's helped me sort of behave that way in real life a bit. So yeah, thanks for that question. That's an insightful one. That was a tough one. Mark Barrage asks, what franchise do you think Nintendo needs to do more with? So, Baten Kaitos would be one of them. I mean, I'd like to see them bring it back. But in terms of existing franchises, I think Mario Kart, honestly. I love that game. It's the game I sink the most time into still. Mario Kart 8. I think it'd be cool if they put out a track, like, you know, a new one every month. I'd pay like $2 for a track every month, you know? They could definitely do more there. And I don't really care about new characters or new carts so much. I care more about the tracks, because that's where you put. That's you're not looking at the cart while you're playing, you know. And let's be honest, they don't really. You know, they're not going to give you a new cart that's going to make all the difference in the world. You know, that would be. They're not going to make an OP cart or an OP character. Like, it needs to be fair. So the only thing that can differentiate your skill is the new tracks, and that was cool. You know, they had that DLC, that paid DLC for new tracks, and I was happy to pay for that because they're cool. You know, the Animal Crossing tracks and the Zelda track, it's really cool. And then Mark also asks, what Zelda game have you been playing in preparation for Breath of the Wild? So I've been playing Skyward Sword a little bit, but more because I want to review that game. So I have to sort of play it again and get some footage and such. But it has been nice to sort of get back into the Zelda state of mind. Francis Kamama asks, out of all the episodes you have made, which was your favorite and why? Love to watch it all. Keep it up. Thanks, Francis. Probably the one where I collaborated. with Jack and Nash. Those guys are really funny, and that episode in particular happened to be a really like robust one. You know, you should just check it out. There's a lot of stop motion involved and like effects and stuff. So, and also Jack and Nash are just hilarious. Those guys are awesome. Thanks for that question, Francis. Absurder Nerder asks, if you could use any Super Mario power-up in real life, which one would you choose? Great question. I'm going to need to ruminate on this one, ponder my options here. So what do we got? We have, well, the mushroom. You just get bigger. Penguin suit. You can slip and slide wherever you want. Oh, you know what I think it would probably be? I think it would be the propeller hat. Yeah. You could like whiz and go way up high and land on a roof somewhere and then do it again. That would be fun. Either that or maybe the wing cap from Mario 64. That'd be pretty cool. So, thank you for that question, Absurder Nerder. Cool name as well. You guys have cool names. Where would you be right now without video games? Asks Skylar1279. Where would I be right now? I mean, physically, I'd probably be very close to where I am right now. But, I mean, video games obviously have made a big difference in my life, and I'm sure that's the question you're trying to ask. Is that, yeah, I think I'd be a different person. I think there'd be a lot different about me. I think it's inspired a lot of the creativity that goes on in my life and like why I like to be creative. I think it helps shape that part of me. You know, some of my hobbies outside of gaming and music. I really love to draw. I'm not very good at it, but I really like it. Yeah, just like all the creative stuff, and I think gaming has helped to go down that path. So thank you for that question. Marcos Riggs. Oh man, I'm just scraping by here. Marcos Riggs asks, what is your favorite handheld and what is the top 5 for that handheld? I don't think I'm going to be able to give a top 5 because that's like, I would just have to think about it for longer, but favorite handheld would just have to be the 3DS because I never had a Game Boy growing up, so I don't know what I missed out on. Link Between Worlds is probably my favorite game on that console. It's just such a great homage back to the older Zelda games. And I just love the 3D effect, you know. Like Mario Kart 7 is really cool in 3D. They just did a really great job with that console, and I hope it doesn't go away with the release of the Switch. So thank you for that question. I think we have one more. But thanks so much, everyone. I was surprised at the number of people who had questions. You know, it's a pretty small channel. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of have an actual talk with the people who are... Oh, that was close. So it's really nice to do this kind of thing. I hope you don't hate it. And if you do, I mean, you just don't have to watch this sort of stuff. What franchise do you think Nintendo should bring back for the Switch? I think Nintendo should bring back Baten Kaitos. I would love to see that in full HD. Oh, and this is a perfect way to end. Perfect example of losing the race against the sun. Thank you guys so much for reaching out to me. This has been really fun. I'm not going to be a Let's Player. You know, I would like to play maybe a couple games on the channel if you guys would be open to it, but for the most part, it's going to be back to Good Morning Gamer proper. I hope you're having a good morning. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.